All right. This is my take on that question that is now at the forefront. Ooh, nearly tripped over something. Is now at the forefront of everyone's mind and concern, but to some of us, it's not really anything that we define ourselves with, and only becomes prominent in our existence when, you know, nature calls. Otherwise, we don't walk around defining ourselves that way. Some of us, but I am very sensitive to others and how they feel, and with the deepest respect to everyone. But I also need to be respected, and I'm someone who doesn't define myself that way. But here's my take on if I, because I've never actually thought about it, but now that I have thought about it, this is how I would have done it. You know, I mean, there's so many different versions that are non-binary based, but just another one, just an idea. It might work for you, might not. For people who have my condition, I find that well, when you do think about it, try not to be led, because there's so many contradictions out there. When you agree with one person, you instantaneously disagree with another with this question. So I found a scientifically metric a scientific and metric way of dissecting what is meant by gender. I suggest that you remove the question of what gender are you and start dissecting it and break it down into the following. Don't know if you can see my mouse moving, but I don't think you can anyway. But it's a scientific fix to the gender question. The question you need to ask is, what is your gender, right? And the way you ask that, you ask somebody, what is your level of masculinity, percentage wise? How masculine do you feel at the moment? And then how feminine do you feel at the moment? So as I've been thinking about the subject, since I've never thought about it, I had much more important things to think about. I started to think, what is meant by masculinity? Well, to break it down scientifically, masculine is somebody who wants to give anything, to give time, to give money, to give a beating, to give to give a damn. And feminine, somebody who wants to be given to, entitlement, somebody who feels like, somebody who likes taking rather than giving, somebody who likes pulling rather than pushing, somebody who feels like they should be pampered or they should be given to, but somebody who feels like giving is masculine. Is going out there, I want to give myself, me as a man, I want to give my member to a female. uh, when that becomes a concern, when nature calls. um, but others do it different. So it depends. When you feel like you want to give yourself to someone, that's masculine. When you feel like you want to be given to, that's feminine. And basically, every human being, you don't need to know what they look like, whether they're male or female, it doesn't matter. Every human being is the same. There is the source of life, and then there's the source of human beings. Life force comes from the male. The male has sperm, which each individual sperm is an individual life, and it wiggles about like it's alive. The female has eggs, and those are like fruits on a plant. They just sit there. They don't wiggle about like that. So the life force, the one that wants to give itself, is the sperm. And now the sperm has two different types. There's the X chromosome carrying one, which is female, and the Y chromosome carrying one. So both your sperms, you got male and female in you. We're the fundamental hermaphrodite. Male is a misdirection, if you like, because the only pure sex there is female, which is XX. But XY is a mixture. so that cannot be a pure sex that is opposite to XX. So that's a hermaphroditic sex. This is my take, so take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not asking you to believe in it. I'm inventing a scientific theory. I haven't researched it. There's no point because I'm just making it up. It's a trippy rant. Yeah. So, excuse me. Yeah. So the male, as you call it, um, carries a life force that is Y chromosome, sperm, and that's to become a man, a male. And he also carries a life force that is X carrying sperm, and that is to become female. So the female has an X from the egg and an X from a sperm. So the female also has the same problem of masculinity and femininity, but it just got it from an X sperm, not a Y. And the male as well has a X from the egg and a Y carrying sperm. So he has the problem of masculinity as well. Yeah, which is to give yourself. The sperm gives itself to the egg, and the egg does with it as it pleases. The egg normally obliterates it, rearranges it, and simulates it somehow. So that's how you should dissect the question. Just give a percentage of how you're feeling. How much of yourself at this moment in time is you feeling like you want to give something to someone, and how much of you feels like you want to process what people are giving you? Yeah, are you feeling like you want to process what people are giving you, or are you feeling like you want to have your say and um, you know give advice, give yourself, give something to the process? Yeah, whatever process that is. So once we get there, hang on a minute. Yes, so once they've filled it in, let's say there's 100 people, yeah, going from 1, 2, 3, etc., up to 100, right? Yeah. And each of them has filled in. You ask them, how much do you feel like processing and so forth, and that's the femininity, percentage wise, from 0 to 100. Somebody says 64, somebody says 24, and the same person also has to give a masculine rating that they're giving themselves. For these are examples picked at random, just random number generation. And somebody says 48. So when that happens, that person will have a margin of dominance. Yeah, that's mostly feminine. Yeah, mostly feminine, and also masculine. So they're more on the feminine side. That's why they've got an F, right? And if they're more on the masculine side, they'll have an M, yeah, which is male, right? And you look at a sample, yeah. Let's say 100 people, yeah. This goes up to 100, yeah. Hang on, yeah, 100, right? Yeah. So you're taking 100, and then you look at each one of them, and you could see what the masculinity and femininity is for each individual. Instead of naming them 1, 2, 3, 4, you can give them personal names here. And then you could see the margin of dominance, which you considered here. Yeah. How much do they lean towards one or the other? And then how loud are they with it? What temperature are they with it? Like, for example, this one's 6, female, right? Which means it's highly, the concept of being feminine is very high in our consciousness. And so is the masculinity. Yeah, so the loudness is 6. But this one has low femininity, low masculinity, almost doesn't give a damn. And the loudness is 3. Yeah. So loudness is important because the margin, yeah. Now look at the first one. The margin of dominance is, okay, this is slightly feminine, yeah. But how much are they concerned that, with that? Is that 6? Yeah, these are equivalent. It's 6, which is pretty high. Yeah, yeah. So the margin of dominance is not enough to tell you how concerned about the issue a person really is. Yeah. But the loudness is what will tell you. Yeah. And the loudness is just a measure of you get it's out of 100, right? Because it's an arbitrary number that will fit nicely into a circle. Yeah, so it's 100, right? And your loudness is you take the total, which is your total score, masculinity and femininity, the total. Then you, from that total, you divide into 20, because it can be as high as 200. Yeah, and there's like 10 different bands. I'll explain to you why. And anything that scores, you divide it into 20 and then you round it up. Yeah, so your loudness is 6 here. That's on the scale of 1 to 10. Then it becomes a scale of 1 to 10 if you divide into 20. 200 total maximum possible, divide into 20, that's out of 10. Right, so you get a loudness scale from 0 to 100, right? So then you look at all the different genders this implies. There's like 100 different genders, right? The most masculine ones, I've labeled them JA, JB, J. I've been thinking about it because I've never actually thought about it, but this is my take because no one ever asked me what I think of it. People socially constructed male and man and woman, but then there's a new construction, and I'm not quite sure if they're finished with it yet. So I thought, what would I think of it? Yeah, and these are very, very male dominated, but the margin of dominance tells you how much they lean towards the masculinity, and then it goes all the way down to femininity, neutral, which are roughly the same, and then femininity. Yeah, so when you look at all the 100 different types of gender, hey, I've been thinking about it a lot. You can see that if you score a 7, let's say HA, yeah, and you're looking for an opposite, if you're someone who's attracted to people who are opposite, the most ideal one for you will be someone who's a -7. So if you're 7, you can choose either a CJ or a BI. If you're on a masculine and you're looking to pair up with a feminine that is has equal intensity, equal concern about the whole subject. Yeah. So you see a 7 here can pair up with a -7 here if they're looking for opposites. These are your opposites. Yeah, AH and so forth and so forth. Yeah. And if you're taking random individuals, you could see this one would be a 7. Yeah. On the femininity scale. Yeah. So -7 effectively. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Right. Okay. So your loudness tells you how bothered you are about what you are. Yeah. Yeah. I should have included the scale where it's. I did put it there actually. Yeah. Here it is. Yeah. No, I didn't. Oh. Yeah, where it shows you the minus values, so you can actually see it like that, how much loudness there is. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I had done. Yeah. So anyway, that's my take on it all. Yeah. Some of these are supposed to be minus values, but if it's loudness, it's just how concerned someone is about that issue, whatever they are. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a trippy rant, but I don't mean to offend anyone. I haven't mentioned anyone's sex or gender, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You're just a person, a human being at the end of the day, and we just want to know. I just want to know how concerned you are about the issue and what your leaning is. Yeah, that's all I'm concerned with in terms of going into your intimate life. Thanks.
Like, subscribe, share.